Welcome back to this 8-week belly dance course for beginners. In this final session, we're going to bring everything together that we've been looking at with lots of combinations in there, possibly a couple of things to challenge you, definitely some tips and tricks to look out for and how you can improve your technique going forward. I'm also going to share with you a little bit of what you can look forward to in the next course. We're going to have a 1-week break and then we'll be back with that. Enjoy! We're going to come into our basic stance, spread out through the toes, relax your feet and ankles, bend through your knees, tuck the hips under, lift through your rib cage, shoulders come all of the way round and down, slide the shoulder blades together, you can elevate through our arms out to the side. Bring the chin into alignment, crown of the head comes to the sky, tailbone sinks to the ground, deep breath here. Let's take one more of those deep cleansing breaths. Bring your hands out to the side. Bring the elbows back. Nice. We're going to begin to slide the hip out to the side, lengthening through the waist. Here we go. We're going to start off with those gorgeous hip slides. Perhaps bring your hands down, frame the hips if you feel ready for that. Whee! One, two, three, four. Really starting to lengthen in at the waist all the more. Let's bring our hands to the back of our head. Whee! Yes! Looking gorgeous. Bring the hands down. To center, we can circle through the wrist. Leave one hand up high. We're going to bring the other one down, frame your face. Other side. Into center here, slide. Now, let's utilize that anchoring technique through our upper half. So we can keep the upper half still steady as we slide through the hips. I am dancing with the oils of neroli, orange and bergamot in the room, and it smells absolutely divine. I definitely recommend that. Let's bring the hip back. Bring it out to the side, bring it forwards. As we come into that circular motion, still enjoying that anchoring technique, keeping your upper half steady in center. We'll make that a little bit faster. Yay! Well done. Let's try the other side. You're going to slide the hip out, bring it back to the side, bring it forwards, side, bring it back to the side, bring it forwards. You can start off with a small movement pattern if you're just warming up, and then gradually making it bigger with each time that you revolve that circular motion all the way around. Things to look out for in this movement are that your hips might want to turn that movement into an oval shape. Just being aware of that and just gently guiding your hips into more of a circular motion as you also bring the hips forwards and back as well as out to the sides. Forwards and also back. As you bring the hips forwards, you can squeeze a little bit through your glutes and that will facilitate that forwards motion. So as your hip comes forward, squeeze through the glute. As your hip comes back, you can use a little bit of your pelvic floor muscles and your low abs to keep the hips in neutral so that the tailbone doesn't round up towards the sky. Keep it down to the ground. A little bit faster here. Woo! Yes. Let's take it the other way. Yes. Nice. All right, let's try that movement through, let's try with a slide first of all through the upper half. And let's bring like that anchoring technique through the low half of body. Wow. Nice. I see Katie there. That is awesome. That looks really good. Annie. Wow. Wow. Colette and Isla. Nice. And I can really see those who are joining me here live in this session, that slide is becoming even bigger each time that you do it. As the muscles warm, as you refresh your memory and your neurological pathways of that movement itself. All right, let's try that a little bit faster, shall we? So here we're using those muscles of low legs, those 3 sets of muscles down in your legs and your lower half to keep the lower half there. I mean, it will move a little, but generally, let's make it a bit bigger now. Generally speaking, it's gonna stay fairly still. Nice. Bring it into center here. Can we circle around with the upper half? Give that a little shot. We're gonna go into this movement in more detail in the next course, alongside lots of others. Bring it all the way around. Let's try reverse that movement. Bring it back the other way. Wow, yes. Maybe a little bit faster. One of the things to look out for in this movement are that your hips are going to want to come out of neutral as you come around. So you're going to just anchor through your low half there and stop that rotation of the hip. Just prevent that from happening with those muscles. Well done! Amazing! Wow, into center, slide. Transition, low half. And 4, 3, 2, into the upper half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, into circle of hip. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you feel ready to, you can add a layer, perhaps hands. So as the hips go back, the hands come forwards and then the reverse. I'm going to take it all the way around. 3 layers deep. So you've got the circle of your hips, the circle of your hands, and then you've got the circle of your whole body, the same direction as your hips are turning. What? If you'd like a 4th layer, would you like a 4th layer? You can pick up through the heels. You can make that a little bit slower if you want to. So you're lifting and lowering through the heels, or you can make that faster. And it creates a little bit of a full body shimmy. Woo! Try the other direction. Take it round the other way. So you're reversing that circle of hips. You're reversing the circle of your hands and your whole body circle. Maybe try different sizes of movement, different tempo. You change up the speed of it. In your own time, bring that gently back into center. Wow, how did that feel? So we call that a hip circle with a break. Although I like to call it the zombie movement. Because when you first get going with that, that's what you look like and that's what you feel like. And then eventually over time, it becomes more natural. So if that's a lot of layerage for you right now, know that you're not alone. It takes a long time sometimes just to add the layers to certain movements. You'll find certain movements take you longer than others. but that is definitely one that lots of people find challenging. Here, let's bring the shoulder forwards, up, back, down, forwards, up, back, down. Other side, we're alternating one then the other. And you can start to bring in your upper arms into that movement, your elbows, the forearms, the wrist. Begin to flex through your wrist and into your hand and your fingers as your hands create this gorgeous circling motion. It's a revolving circle. It comes from the shoulder and travels all the way down. Wow. Gently take the hands wider. So you're rotating through the shoulder joint to bring your hands out to the side. Make that movement big. It's Egyptian arms. You can make it smaller. Snaky arms. And what you'll notice is that is extremely toning and strengthening. So remember when we covered this movement before, woo! Feel that? Oh my goodness. Bring that gently down. And down by your sides, it's a nice framing movement. So you might do that with the slide of hip. You might have done that just a moment ago. It's a very similar movement pattern. It's practically the same. The difference being that the movement now is slightly bigger in your forearm and your wrist than it is in your shoulder, whereas the one where we raised out in front and out to the sides in the lateral raise was more focused in at the shoulder as a primary source of movement. Wow! Take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, let's move on. Come into your basic stance, feet about hip width apart, bend through your knees. I'm going to drop through one hip and then through the other. Yes. Amazing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Drop. 2, 3, 4. That movement is coming absolutely from the knees. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes! Awesome. Could you try a bit faster, maybe? Keep the knees soft and relaxed. And the hip is coming up and down through the movement of the knee. Your heels are flat on the floor. You can gently lift a little bit through your arches. Now, have a little shot just lightly shifting your weight forwards, ever so slightly into the ball of your foot. See how that feels? And then shift your weight ever so slightly back into your heels. Woo! Bring it back centered, all the way around your foot. Yes! Wow, well done. Help yourself to a little spot of hydration. And then we're going to move on. We're going to have a little bit of fun with some camels and figures of 8, those gorgeous serpentine movements. Always nice to enjoy one of those after coming from a staccato movement, such as a shimmy or hip drop that we just did. So coming back into center, let's have fun. First of all, let's go with a camel first of all. That might be fresher in your memory. So with the camel, we're gonna lift up, roll down. You're gonna pull in all the way down through each individual set of abs. Bend through your knees and tilt your hips back into neutral. They don't come beyond neutral. They're just gonna sit to neutral. Let's try that again. We're gonna raise up as you breathe in. Expand through the belly, expand through the rib cage, and then you're going to come in, engage through your upper abs, mid abs, low abs, pelvic floor, lift up. roll down, knees bend, hips tilt. If you remember in the last session, I gave you that really silly analogy that you could imagine that you had a belt on around your waist with a gigantic spoon, and you've got a tub of ice cream in front of you, and you want to scoop up some of that ice cream into your mouth. What's your favorite ice cream? I'm not sure what mine is. Here we go. Lift, roll down, lift, roll down, lift, roll down, lift, roll down. So in this most basic version of a camel, we're going to bring the focus towards your upper abs, or the low section of your rib cage. So the upper half, really, you're anchoring through there. Now there are such things as variations of camels which also utilize your upper half and look a bit more like this. If you've done jazz dancing or street dancing even. Street dance, actually all forms of dance are considered to come from the roots of belly dance. How crazy is that? Belly dance is considered the oldest performing art in the world that we know of. So if we were doing the full version, which incidentally in jazz is known as a dolphin, which maybe has the head involved as well. So in this full version, you could consider it to be two circular motions. You've got this circle motion of the rib cage. It comes up and back and down and drops. It comes up and back, pull back. It comes down and round. Forward, up, back, down. Forward, up, back, down. That's the top half of it. And then you could consider that the same or similar is happening with the hips. So you got forwards, up, back, down. Forwards, up, back, down. Forwards, up, back, down. Forwards, up, back, down. And what you then do is you place one and then the other. So I'm literally just showing you this alternative version of a camel. You'll see this version of a camel more often you might see it in tribal fusion style belly dance, and you might see it in American cabaret. It might make an appearance in Lebanese style because it is so very big, and Lebanese style loves that dramatic feel, that very theatrical feel. Maybe possibly Turkish, it might make an appearance there as well. So I just wanted to share that with you as well. But the really, really classical camel is right in here. And even with that, we're exaggerating that movement for the purpose of your learning in this beginner's course, but actually it could be really internalized. So on camera you probably wouldn't see too much if I really, really internalized that movement. And what do I mean by internalize that movement? What does that actually mean? So what I mean is, instead of using the larger superficial muscles that are more visible on the outside of your body, we're talking about the internal muscles that you don't even see on the surface. So it's more of a feeling and more of a being than an actual moving through space doing. You get me? Hopefully that makes sense. We'll hold that one there for now. Let's move into a figure of 8. So you're going to bend through your knee, you're going to slide down diagonal, and as you push outwards with your hip and upwards, you're going to start to extend through your legs some of the way. Make sure your hips remain neutral, tuck, and then you're going to slide down diagonal, and you're going to come up and round. Slide diagonal, up and round, slide, come upwards, slide, Extend some of the way, slide, extend, slide, extend. Again, it's the knees that are driving that movement primarily. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're also utilizing the muscles of your waist. It feels gorgeous, doesn't it? Oh, wish you could smell this neroli. Oh my goodness, this movement with neroli oil. Oh, I'm in heaven. You make that movement even bigger. In the next course, I'm going to share with you how you can make that figure of 8 even bigger. Let's reverse. We're going to come up and round. Yes, sit down into it, tuck the hip under. We're going to lift, come down. Lift, down. Slide up, drop. Slide up, all the way out and round. Up, out and round. So you've got 2 planes of movement there as you come up and over. You're bringing your hip not just up and down, but you're also bringing it out to the side, the furthermost position, and then bring it round. Wow. Yes. Tune into what your own body would like to receive right now. Play around with the size and the speed of that movement. Wow, bring it into center. We had a little look in this course, just the very fundamentals of traveling with movements. We spoke about a smooth, fluid movement where it looks as though you're gliding across the floor. And we also spoke about the possibility of a more staccato, earthier step. So we could build into that now step with a drop perhaps. We're going to start to look at things like this in the next course as well as coming out with a slide, with that smooth gliding traveling step. Wow. Well done. Just keeping it simple for now. Nice and simple. Bring it into center here. Woohoo! Things that we have also had a little bit of a look at, just an initial venture into the world of music, Middle Eastern music, the musicality aspect. So we had the dum sound that we could clap out, dum. And the tack sound on the drum, tack. So you can reverse your hand. So the back of your hand comes into the palm of the other. So you've got dum and you've got tack. Dum, tack. Dum, tack. Dum, tack. What about if we played perhaps, let's say, a malfouf rhythm? Let me just turn this off for now because it's in the background. I'm not sure if you heard it, but I'm going to pop that off so we can really focus and concentrate. So maybe like a malfouf rhythm. My top has decided to come unfastened. I don't think there's going to be any wardrobe malfunctions. I think we're fine. Maybe I'll just secure it just in case. Give me 1 second. So malfouf then is a rhythm that's often used in an entrance by the belly dancer in a performance. And it's a very, very simple rhythm. And we're going to play just a very simple version of that just now on our hands. So, doom, doom, tack. Yeah? So we're going to go doom, doom, tack. Nice. And so I thought we would just bring a tiny element of this just as a natural progression into the next course. We could do a movement such as, let's have an understanding that the hips are maybe the earthier part of this combination, and anything that we do in our upper half is maybe lighter, more skywards in feel and energy. So we could do doom, doom, yeah, through your hips, doom, doom, just one drop on the hip on one side and then drop on the other. So you're going to bring your hips into neutral and you're going to bend through one knee and you've got downwards, you've got doom. And then you're going to the other side, doom. And then you're going to have tack. So let's say tack, because perhaps a rib cage pop upwards. So the low section of your rib cage, you're going to bring up and out like this. Pow, like that. So altogether, that's going to be doom, doom, tack. Yeah? And then to do that again, you're going to bring your rib cage back gently down into neutral and start again. So it's going to go doom, doom, tack, return, doom, doom, tack, return, doom, doom, tack, return, doom, doom, tack, return. So we'll have a look at things like the syncopation of Malfouf and a few other rhythms in the next course. I wanted just to get into that feeling of what it is to illustrate the rhythm with your body. All right, so back onwards. Let's nudge this on here. The other thing that we had was that figure of 8 on a horizontal plane. Whee! Let's bring all these movements together. So we've got figure of 8, you've got vertical, into shoulders, into camel perhaps. Nice. Drop through your hip one side then the other. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Frame with some arms. How's about shoulders forwards and back? Into shoulder shimmy. Woohoo! Perhaps we could try travel forwards with a slide, or just stay with the basic hip slide if you don't have the space or you don't feel quite ready for that. But if you do, you could try a little bit faster. Whee! Yes! Oh, wow. Could we bring that on a sideways plane? Other side? Bring it into center. We're going to circle the hip. Reverse. Whee! What about a hit? Are you ready for those? I think so. Hip drop on a single leg. Are you ready to add a flick of your foot? Step back. Other side. Center. Wow! Oh my goodness, that was absolutely gorgeous. Let's come into center. Oh, take a nice big wide stance. That was amazing. Think about all of these things that we've been learning. Wow. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, hands up towards the sky. And we're just gonna gently fold down towards the ground. You could bend through your knees if you want to. Relax your neck. Just gonna hang out here for a moment. You can loosen up through your waist if you'd like to by walking round towards one side. Bring it back in through center, out towards the other side. Back into center here. Take your time as you come back upwards, unwinding. Lengthen out through the waist that bit more. I don't know about you, but I can certainly tell that in the last 8 weeks, flexibility has skyrocketed. Do you feel much more flexible? You have more flexibility through your spine, through your waist, through your hips. Bring that into center. So much more strength and muscle tone. You might feel like your waistline has gently pulled into shape. But alongside all of that, feeling so much more connected to your own inner self, your own true self. So much more in balance and harmony with your own body, your mind, and your spirit. And full of joy. Ready to dance some more. Woohoo! Wow! Thank you for being here. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit notifications so you can be informed of when the next video goes up. If you'd like to support the creation of these videos, remember you can head along to patreon.com/Little Egypt Studio, where you'll find a community of other enjoyers of these videos. See you soon. Bye.